Welcome back to yet another 213 Crispy video, and today we are on part 2 of our video series on the restoration of the Salem Spectre Fastback 500. Part 1 of this video was the rebuild and restoration of the paint, the interior, and the suspension, which all of that has been completed. And today's video we are going to focus on replacing and repairing and restoring our wonderfully supercharged V8 engine. So let's go ahead and get started. Always start with taking off the front pieces first. So we're going to remove our fan. We're going to remove our belts. And I do know we have a couple people here that's watching live on Twitch. You guys can watch me live while I record videos for YouTube if you want. I will always stream them live before I post them on YouTube. But you can find me on both YouTube and Facebook, or not Facebook, YouTube and Twitch, even actually including Twitter, under the name 213 Crispy. So, and also Discord. You can join my Discord channel as well, and it's under the same name, 213 Crispy. So we got all of our parts off the front end of this removed. Take our oil filter off. Let's head on up to the top half. Start removing our carburetors. Take our supercharger off. I don't think they did a terrible job with the modeling of this particular engine. I think they could have done a little bit better. But all in all, it's really not a bad setup on how they've got this designed. It's got a couple quirks, but it's nothing major. Like the amount of bolts, that's what drives me nuts. The amount of bolts that holds certain things on doesn't make sense. And some of it does. So it's kind of one of those, I don't say you're damned if you do and damned if you don't moments, but that's kind of what it feels like. But for the most part, it's not bad. And I've found doing one of these at a time is the easiest to go. Is removing one rocker arm and then one push rod at a time. Because then, if not, you're bouncing back and forth, or you forget to remove them. Go ahead and get your spark plugs while we're here. If only working on cars was this easy. It's actually not that complicated once you get to this point, but getting to this point is the hard part. This is actually correct for the amount of bolts that you'd have, but some of the other engines that you work with in this game will have 4. So like I said, this particular model was not a bad representation of what it actually is to be, what it feels like to be working on a standard Ford V8, even for Chevy for that matter. But yeah, this is typical Ford design, because of these rocker arms, push rods, that's par for the course. Takes some tools to make sure that you get the valve clearances set properly versus just cranking them down and going on. So, as I said, it's not as easy as this game makes it, but it's not too far off. Worked on a few engines in my life. Spark plugs. Overheads. Oh, can't. Exhaust first. And then some of these cars you do have to leave the headers on before you install them into your car. It just depends on the car, really. Camshaft comes out. And we are done with this. Let's go ahead and rotate it so I can get to the bottom. Yeah, one of the Mustangs that I built, I had an 86 that I had put an old 289 hypo in for drag racing, and that design, you don't have a whole lot of room in the engine bay to begin with. So I was a genius and decided to buy a set of long tube headers instead of short headers. The difference is short headers are equivalent to an exhaust manifold concept, so they bolt up to the factory exhaust positions, and they're a lot easier to work with. Like if you have to do any kind of repairs or maintenance or something like that, so you can just take off a pretty short exhaust piece to get to access to where you need to go. But the downside is you lose a little bit of performance versus having a set of long tube headers. And what I took off of this engine is classified, or at least what I would call long tube headers, because they all come down to a center point and collect into one collector. I'll show you when I go to install the engine back together what I'm talking about. So let's head over to our repair bench, and we are going to start slopping this thing back together. Wish there was just a repair all button. That'd just be so easy. Okay, let's start finding out what mounted and what didn't mount. Okay, so I know I'm gonna have to make a run to the parts, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Yeah, because like I said, we're doing a tuning DLC build here, so we're gonna go with all the tuning parts I can get my pretty little pennies on. So I'm gonna need an alternator, gonna need I don't think that's the correct camshaft, but we'll try it. I know that the carburetors are not the same, but I wonder if it's those. It might be, so let's go with 2 of those. Clutch plate, pressure plate, heads, V8 overhead valves. So this right here is what I would call a shorty header, which is what they're calling an exhaust manifold. So you notice how short they are, and they're a lot easier to work with. This is classified as a long tube header, so they have equal length tubes, comes all the way down to a single collector. Yeah, that's what that is. Front exhaust pipe does not fit. Fuel filter, fuel pump. Nope. Wrong car. Coil, distributor, cap, rotor, ignition V8s, the exhaust manifold, the intake manifolds, sorry, are not going to match. I need 2 middle mufflers, and I need 8 of these. Power steering pump. I already have the rear mufflers. They do not have the air filter for this design, which is why I don't think the other carburetors are going to work, but I bought them anyway. And I don't need a throttle body, no turbochargers. So I don't understand why there's no supercharger in here. Why I couldn't buy an aftermarket? Yeah, I don't get it. So let's go to our regular parts department and finish up some of the parts that I don't have. So I'm going to need, I'm trying to do this from memory. So I'm going to need an air scoop. Gonna need a cam gear, V8 overhead valve. Gonna need, where's the crankshaft? Just in case, I'll go and buy those. Crankshaft pulley, V8 overhead, 2, 3 bearing caps. Gonna need blank. V8 overhead valve oil filter. Rings, we need 8. 7, 8. I think the radiator repaired, we need 16 of these. 16. Need 8 rod caps. 7, 8. My air filter for each of those. I think it's serpentine belt, V8 overhead valve A, B, V8 overhead valve, and then I'm going to need a starter, and I don't remember which one, so I'm not going to buy it. Supercharger belt, supercharger water pump pulley, V8 overhead valve timing chain. Timing chain cover should be the same. Valve push rods. I need 16. I think the water pump repaired, and I should be set. I hope. That was a lot of parts. So let's go ahead and start mounting our parts. So pistons and rings. Oops. Rod caps. Normally you would install these one at a time. You'd actually install the crankshaft bearings first and the caps, and then check to make sure that it's free. So you would mount something to the front of your crankshaft, rotate it, make sure that it's free, do one piston at a time, make sure that it's free. When you mount it in and get it secured to your specifications for your torques, then rotate it. And then keep moving on, because what will happen is if you have a bind and you get, like, for example, halfway through the engine and you decide that you want to rotate it to find out what the top dead center is on your engine for your valve train, then you find out you can't move it because something is binding up inside your lower unit like this. You're up a creek, because then now you don't know which one's messed up. So then you kind of have to start all over, and that's a pain, because it takes some specialty tools. This is a pretty tedious process of mounting your pistons. It's not complicated, it's just tedious work. And then usually your oil pans have about 12 little bolts in it, not 6. That's one of my complaints with the game in general. I am not putting an oil filter in. I do that last after I put the engine in the car, because you don't know. Like, I always forget to put oil in it. Wait a minute, was that the performance parts one? No, it was not. I didn't think so. And one of the ways you can tell if it's a performance part is it's shiny. So you can tell the difference from this part here and the block. And same thing with, like, the exhaust manifolds. These are dull and these are shiny. And so they made them chromed out, I guess, is the technical name for it. Same thing with the spark plugs. They're going to be red versus the white. That's one way to identify a performance part over a non-performance part. And time to put in our valve train. God, this lighting in this room is just terrible for reflecting. Almost done with this side. tedious little work is what this is. Put the valve covers on. And we'll do the other side next. One. The nice thing about being able to repair a lot of your parts is you can salvage them back to restore a lot of your money back, actually. Especially heads and blocks. The cost of them are quite expensive. So you can get most of your money back when you go to actually sell them back. I just keep them for other builds. Because you don't know. You may decide that you want to build something without the tuning DLC parts, just for the simple fact that, like, let's just say it's a customer's built car that comes in. Well, you ain't going to purchase tuning DLC parts for a customer's car because they ain't paying for it. Unless you just want to be nice. But, yeah, no, I don't know anybody that would do that. But I don't have to do customer cars anymore. I have like 200. Actually, I have about $1 million in cars already saved up. So if I just need money, I'll just sell a car. Usually, I don't keep cars around too long. I think I'm down to like 6 or 7 in my garage upstairs. A few of them were my original like first 2 cars. They will never go anywhere, and then just depends on what I like. I think I still have one of my Cobras. I'm pretty sure I do. I still have my El Camino is my very first car that I built, and I did not pull the engine block out because I didn't know that I had to pull it out to do a repair on it. So it's like the only piece that was not replaced was the engine block. And I think the paint's still messed up because I was like level 15. I couldn't repair the body panels, and I couldn't paint them because I didn't have it unlocked yet. So I was kind of up a creek. It's quite funny, actually. Hey, the carburetors do fit. Fantastic. Nice and shiny. Air scoops. So the top half of this engine is done. So now let's work on the front. I already did one of my pet peeves that I would suggest not doing. Wrong part. Out of there. You need to put in this one. Normally, I would tell you to leave like one spark plug out, because when you get to this point, when you start mounting all of your parts, specifically right here, it's going to throw on these wires. So now I gotta fight getting these clips in because they're a pain to get back here, to get to this little clip B, to put that back clip on because the wires get in the way. So usually you just leave the spark plug wire, like one spark plug out, because then these wires go away. And then you put that one plug in, and voila. We're almost done. Water pump. It'd be pretty cool if they had like a gasket kit or something that you can buy and actually mount some gaskets, but that's just getting picky now. Crankshaft pulley. Alternator. And I need to mount my power steering pump. I didn't know I had all those parts already. So belt B, belt A, and our fan, and we should be done with the engine besides the oil. So there is our wonderfully built and nice and shiny engine. So let's go ahead and remove from the crate. Hey, I did not move that out of the way. We're going to move this guy to car lift A. And we're going to install a brand new engine. Okay, let's finish our engine bay up with our brake servo, our brake booster, our radiator, and our battery. So all of those are complete. So all we have left to do is the exhaust parts. Oops, I ran a little. Told you, I'll forget. So let's go ahead and mount. Oh, the car, of course. Gonna make me do it the hard way. Oil filter. I mean, that's the realistic way. I get it. I'm not mad at it. Speaking of, I just did an oil change in a car yesterday, actually. It was a pain in the ass. We have a 2012 Ford Fusion, and I had to get my, actually, what? Did I get a throwout bearing? So I had to use a jack to lift it up on one side because I'm apparently too fat to get underneath it. I could get under it and I could reach the drain plug in the back, but I couldn't get all the way to it to get enough leverage to break it free. So yeah, I had to get the jack out. I was not happy. Like, really? It's the first time I actually attempted to do the oil change on that particular car. Usually I just tell her to go get the oil change because it's her car. But we're going to go on a trip. So I decided that I was going to do it myself and put in the best oil and the best oil filters I could get. And ended up still saving me money, which I used to do my own oil changes years ago anyway. So to me, it's nothing new. It's just that I never did it in her car. I have a 2012 F-150, 4x4 quad cab EcoBoost, and I do the oil changes in it, like, religiously. So I need front exhaust pipe C. Exhaust. Front exhaust pipe, the overhead valve C. I need 2. Yeah, I don't say the best of the best that I can buy, but I buy what I think is what's been proven anyway. So I run Mobile 1 fully synthetic oil, and I just switched over to running Wix XP oil filter. So I need some oil. Speaking of, let's top her off. And we should have a running car here in about 10 seconds, hopefully. Check our status. Should be... Oh, I missed a part. Where did I miss? Oh, fuel pump. Son of a gun. See, I told you I'll forget something. Chat, you guys are falling asleep on me. Oh, come on. Part mount. You guys are supposed to remind me that I was missing these parts. I think chat's asleep on me. They're not paying any attention to what I'm saying or what I'm doing. They're ignoring me. So got 100% all the way across the board. The car's worth $92,968, and then I get a restoration bonus of $15,500 for doing a complete restoration on this car. So let's go ahead. And we're going to move this car over to the dyno. So move to the dyno. Let's go see what she does. Keep in mind, it's tuning DLC, so all parts have been replaced with tuning parts. So this particular engine makes 498 horsepower from the stock. I'm going to take a wild guess and say I make 40% more than that. So it'd be 5, 6, 7... I'm going to guess 725. 725 horsepower. I'm probably off. It's probably more. It's probably like 770. Now that we come close. 942, an 89% increase. That's ridiculous. So we basically built a 1,000 horsepower engine in our Mustang. Yeah. Okay. So now we have to drive it. So let's go and move our car to... I can't park it anywhere because I got a car in the way. Okay, let's take it and let's go to the airfield. I got a Corvette in the way. And then I have my stupid glitched out car that won't get out of the way. So abandoned airfield, and we want our Fastback 500. So yeah, I think we came up with the name of the series. We're going to call it the 1,000 horsepower Fastback build. Or just 1,000 horsepower. I don't know. Probably Fastback. We'll probably add the Fastback tag to it. So this is the car. Like I said, I'm going with a nice silver color. I think it looks fantastic. Got the smoked out front headlights. Smoked darker taillights. All performance parts. 22-inch wheels and tires in the rear that are slicks. And they tuck perfectly right on that fender well. And then we got some pretty nice wide 20-inch wheels in the front. Pretty good meat. Okay, so let's go ahead and line up. Hit the wall. There we go. So let's get going. Let's see how fast it'll go. Out first. That's it. That's it. 240. Nope, I'm already past it. I was going to say 245. But we're doing 250. 253 is what it does. Turns pretty nice, actually. It's a little on the tight side, but this game, physics, tight's really not a bad thing. I can't get it all swirly like I have other cars. So, yeah. For 1,000 horsepower, this thing should be a little bit more crazy than this, but hey. Oh. Oh, what a landing. What a landing. There we go. Ford Mustang Fastback 500 supporting 1,000 horsepower. I think we knocked this car out of the park. Don't know about you guys, but that is what I'm gonna call a wrap. Give me a thumbs up or thumbs down if you don't like the video. Any feedback you guys give me, I'm appreciative too. I'm always looking for feedback from you guys as the viewers on YouTube. So if you're looking for a specific car that you want me to build, let me know. I will be more than glad to look into it. Even if it's a, hey Big Mac, good morning and thanks. And if you guys have any specific cars you want me to build, let me know. Even if it's a mod, I will look into downloading those mods and getting those cars built for you guys, because you, the viewers, are important to me. So that's what I'm trying to do, is cater to you guys. Also, like I said, if I'm recording a video, I am also streaming it live on Twitch, so make sure you hop over on Twitch and follow my channel and view if I'm online. I do it early morning videos typically for me because it fits my schedule. Just like Big Mac popped in and said hi, even though he's making fun of my driving for smacking the corner of that wall. You're killing me, Big Mac. But Big Mac's been around a long time, so but yeah, we're gonna call this video done. So thank you guys very much, and you have a great day.